Welcome to Insight Marketing Success, the podcast where marketing knowledge meets real-world experience, from vision to execution.
Tyler, welcome to IMS, Inside Marketing Success. I had the opportunity to meet with you before, but tell us who you are.
Thanks, Ricardo, and thanks for having me on today's podcast. I feel really lucky to have the opportunity to be a serial tech founder my entire life. Ever since the age of 12, I've been starting businesses, many of which have been in technology. I had an IT business back in high school and college. I had a social media marketing agency for about 10 years. I had an Airbnb management company. I've had a cybersecurity training company, a couple exits along the way, and now focused in the AI space, helping build websites and apps and automation tools faster and less expensively than ever before through the tools of AI today. And that's Bionic Wave. You can see up here, and excited to have the opportunity to help entrepreneurs and other technology leaders build some really cool products.
Wonderful. So it sounds like you had a lot of experience building businesses and making some money and through your journey. So in the process of doing that, tell us about a great marketing campaign that worked with you. It can be in Bionic Wave or in any of the other businesses that you started and sold.
You know, we've done many marketing campaigns, especially with my social media marketing agency, many of which won awards in the industry associations. We won awards internally at 3M. We won an award with Famous Dave's, the restaurant chain, many years ago. And I tell you, each one is unique and special. And to me, I'm a math mind. Marketing has both an art and a science to it. And I really enjoy when that moment when you uncover a part of the marketing that you know is going to be able to scale and grow and be a profitable marketing campaign, and then to have a client that wants to grow and scale with it. We had a client that was investing $1,000 a month in ads. And once we got that 1,000 to be very profitable, we went from 1,000 to 2,000. The next month, the following month went from 2 to 4,000. The following month from 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32,000. And like helping business leaders grow their businesses, I think is a ton of fun. And when you've got that great relationship between yourself and a client, it can be a lot of fun.
Great. Okay, so you tell me about your social campaigns. So what would be the key ingredient in that process to make the growth that you're talking about?
I believe it's actually about the process. With really now all of my companies, I've used a similar process. One of my long-term friends and former coworkers, Gary Stockert, came up with this process, the 3D process, he called it. And it's a discover, develop, deliver process. And I find that when you take that thoughtful time at the beginning to do a discovery phase, to truly understand what has been done with marketing in the past, what does the analytics tell us might work? What are the competitors doing? What are the opportunities in that market space? That process will guide a lot of really good insights that have a good chance of working. And then when you agree upon that plan, you move into development phase. In the development phase, it's about upgrading the foundation of the platform, the campaigns, the profiles that you may have, upgrading the analytics to make sure it's tracking everything you need to track, upgrading the landing pages to make sure that they have a chance of converting, those kinds of concepts. And then and only then, after discover and the develop process, you move into the deliver phase. The deliver phase is all about running those campaigns and doing a lot of A/B testing, a lot of split testing along the way. You know, we would frequently run many different campaigns simultaneously to help uncover data points faster of what's going to be more likely to work. And now with Bionic Wave, we have the power of AI that we can then bring to that same process and help do it faster. And so I'm really excited to have the opportunity to be able to do a lot of marketing faster, less expensively than ever before with the power of AI.
Amazing. All right. Well, in order to get to that point, you have to have some failures, or let's call it learning experiences. So if you can share with us one of those learning experiences, I will really appreciate it.
Ricardo, as you know, there are countless learning experiences in life. And especially as entrepreneurs, we run across them very frequently. And I think it's all about that recognizing that we now have a learning opportunity in front of us. It's the slowing down and uncovering what can we learn from this process and then applying it up, whether it's updating the processes, training your staff in a different way, doing a better job managing expectations of clients. If I were to try to pull some up, I've had learning opportunities where I didn't do a good job at listening to my team in some good ideas that they had, or when they pushed back on me to say, Tyler, I really think we should do A versus B. Uh, Similarly, sometimes I've not done a great job at deciding which clients are the right kinds of clients for me. And I might disproportionately want to take on any client that wants to sign up with me. And then you get into this relationship that you just know is not a right fit. And then there's just tension. You put more time and energy into this client that's you're not going to have a great relationship ever, realistically. And instead I could have been working with a lot of other better clients, doing better campaigns. And that's been expensive from a time perspective, from a financial perspective, from a relationship perspective. And so I've had many of those kinds of learning opportunities along the way.
Okay, so let's talk about that. That's interesting. The so I agree with you, but as a when you head a company, you have payroll every 2 weeks or at the end of it, that's coming, and you know that money, you have to have that money better. So what have you done to filter relationships with potential that don't serve you? I mean, do you just say no? Do you say changes? Tell me, how do you approach that part?
It's always a tough conversation and it's a tough decision to make. As entrepreneurs, we have payroll that just constantly comes up, and maybe it's rent or other platform tools that we have to pay for. And we may want to take on these clients because we need the money. And there's that balance of the balancing of cash to the balancing of doing good work to producing the deliverables and results that you want for your clients. I have found that when I do a good job of saying no to the clients that aren't going to be a good fit, I have more time and more money to be able to do a good job. Because those clients that aren't going to be a good fit take a lot of time and money to try to make them work. And that lesson I've needed to learn over and over again. I actually have a prospect right now that I may have one of those conversations with this next couple of weeks, where I'm learning that they may not be the right kind of fit for me. And I've been thinking through today how I'm going to have that conversation to fully uncover, are they going to be the right fit? Are we going to be able to adapt to work together? Or is this one where it just makes sense to walk away? And even though this opportunity is going to be tens of thousands of dollars, that it'd be really helpful to have in an early stage of a business. I worry that this is going to be one that may consume more time and energy than it's worth. And every entrepreneur, every salesperson, every leader goes through these decisions, and they're tough ones to make.
Yeah, I agree. Tyler, how do you approach storytelling in your brand communications?
I believe storytelling is really important. With Bionic Wave as an example, this business has launched very quickly. I think about what are the messaging themes? What are the analogies that I can use that leverage the company name, that leverage the word choices that I use in the communication. And I was interviewing somebody recently, and he used so many great words around surfing and the wave of technology and this coming AI wave that we need to start riding. And for us to, as humans, for us to continue to be productive and valuable and have fun, we have to ride this AI wave. And right now, even if it's just learning how to get up on the surfboard or learning how to feel comfortable in the water, this AI wave is going to make a huge impact in every kind of work that we do. And I'm convinced it's important that everybody starts getting comfortable in this new era that we're in and starts learning the basics of how to ride these upcoming technology waves. They're going to greatly change how we all do business.
I agree. I agree with you. All right. Which type of organizations will best be suited for Bionic Wave services?
I think there are a couple different ideal customer profiles with Bionic Wave. I think one is entrepreneurs who've had these dreams of these web products that they've wanted to build that even just a year or two ago might have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars to build in the normal software development processes. And now with AI, we can build minimum viable products of what they've been dreaming about, oftentimes in less than 90 days, oftentimes far less than 100 grand, sometimes less than 50 or even 20 grand, depending on what they're looking at, that would have normally cost 10 times or more just 2 or 3 years ago. And helping entrepreneurs dream is something I love doing naturally. And this business gives me that ability to do that and execute well to it. Secondly, there are many marketing and business leaders out there that want to start integrating AI into their processes and are thinking about how do we automate processes that we have, whether it's technology or whatever it might be. And now with AI, we have the ability to have processes that most people don't even want to do and to be able to automate them away so that we can do the kinds of things that we're best at, that we enjoy doing. And um, I've done a lot of work in the mid-sized business market, companies that are, 10 employees to 500 employees, somewhere in that range. And now we have the ability to help them do cool things faster and less expensively than ever before.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, let's go in with that little personal. Let's dig into who Tyler Olson is. Let's imagine that you're in a restaurant and you go into a booth and you hear familiar voices behind you and you realize it's three of your best friends. And you start hearing your name and realize they are about to talk about yourself, but they don't know that you are there. So what would you want them to say about you?
What would I want them to say about me? It might be different than like what I might do or say. I would hope that people would say positive things, you know, uh, in the professional world, that Tyler is a reliable, great partner, fun to work with, helps us dream bigger, helps us accomplish our dreams, is helps us drive results that we want to be driving, those kinds of things. My core values that I hope many people would take away. I think big. I want to have fun along the way. I want to help people make money and go faster and do larger things, those kinds of concepts. And on the personal front, that I'm a fun guy to be around, that they enjoy hearing my travel stories, that they want to join on my travels with me. We were just talking about Mexico here earlier, Ricardo, and I love going to Mexico. I'd love to go to the city that your family's from. And that's the kind of person I am. And like if we're gonna do some business together, let's do it for Mexico, you know? And
Yes, let's have fun.
let's have some tacos and but Mexican tacos, not the Americanized version.
Yes,
And
the real McCoy.
the real McCoy, maybe some
Yes,
tequila, and have some
yes,
fun.
awesome. Well, life is rainbows and unicorns, but at times there are dark clouds, right? And so it could be overwhelming to be an entrepreneur. So how do you stay grounded when either personal or business things come to you?
That's a great question, Ricardo, and it's very hard. It's hard. I think most humans struggle with that. Among the things that I do, uh, I meditate, I journal, I do my best to stay organized. I've used a tool, Trello, to manage everything in my life, from all of my businesses to my family relationships and projects to my partner and I. We have Trello boards together of things that we want to do together. And staying organized is hard and important. Staying grounded to who we are as humans. Every year, as we approach the new year here, I'm a big believer that everybody should have some sort of annual goals or at least a personal vision of where do you want to go in life? We only have one life on this planet. And I have both a presentation as well as a document that summarizes where I want to go in life. And so when I bring on new friends in life and or new coworkers in life in business, I believe it's important for them to know the direction I want to go, and I also want to know where they go. At every one of my companies, I've had my team members do vision presentations so that I know where they want to go, so I can be more likely to help them, and hopefully the other people around us are more likely to help them succeed with their personal and professional life goals and dreams.
Nice. Tell me about that document. Is it something that you update every year or when you feel like? So it sounds like it's something that keeps you straight on what you want to accomplish.
I'm a believer that long-term strategic plans, both in life and in business, should have stability. They can be changed, but infrequently is best. Many entrepreneurs have this squirrel mindset of, I want to go this way today and I want to go that way tomorrow. And having a plan of, no, here's where I want to go for the next 15 years or 50 years, or even if it's just the next 2 to 3 years, helps us more likely achieve those goals and dreams. And so, in my personal vision presentation, I'm looking at least the next 15 years. I review it. I update it at least a little bit once a year. And I review it every quarter just to remind myself what direction am I focused on. There might be some quarterly or annual strategic small variations I make on a quarterly basis. But the long-term plan, I usually only look at and review, or I only review and update once a year.
Okay. So I know that what I'm about to say is almost like showing your underwear, but would you want to share any part of it with our audience?
Yeah, what we could do, Ricardo, is I could even attach a piece of it to the description of this video, and
Okay.
so people can see that.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you. All right. Last question. What advice would you give yourself to your younger self when you first started your career? If you could whisper in that ear and say, Tyler, what would you say?
There are many things. Uh, Besides invest more into Bitcoin, I think about um, I'm someone who has always believed that I'm going to be successful and that success in many areas of life will just naturally come to me. That's a personality trait that was ingrained in me early on, both nature and nurture. But I wish that I had given myself, my earlier version of myself, some wisdom around there are going to be failures along the way. And it is valuable use of time to plan for them. Because I've not done as good of a job as I should have thinking about and planning for the potential risks and failures, because a weakness of mine is I just assume everything's going to work the way I think it will. And it doesn't always work that way, as we've talked about.
Very good. Tyler, thank you very much for being with us today. Appreciate your wisdom and experience, and look forward to building a strong relationship with you.
Thank you as well, Ricardo. And I look forward to meeting you someday in Mexico as well.
Thanks for listening to Insight Marketing Success, where marketing knowledge meets real-world experience from vision to execution.